What's up, everybody? We are here right now with a incredible singer-songwriter. I've been listening to her for the past week since I knew she was coming on the show and just really digging some of her songs. And we are so proud to welcome singer-songwriter, uh, country music, outlaw country. I've heard a few different really cool sounds that I believe you fit in, which I think is amazing. Welcome to the show, Miss Allie Colleen.
Hello, honored to be here, man. How you doing?
So excited to have you. Um, before we went live, me and you were talking about some of our connections with, you know, Beverly and your PR extraordinaire,
Yeah,
and Kaylin, who has played drums with you, Kaylin Berry, and
yes,
so it's crazy. But being like in the Nashville community is so small anyway. Like
it
everybody
really is.
knows there's connections. Don't
Yeah,
they call it? They call it something. I've heard some of my buddies that.
it's the biggest small
Yeah,
town.
that's it.
Yes, I know. I'll hear that at least twice tonight when I go out. I can promise you that.
Oh man. Well, let's just get into it. As I was preparing for this interview, I was looking at some other stuff on the web as far as the PBR Bull Riding Invitational. You just sang the national anthem a few days ago. I watched it, and you killed it.
I threw up afterwards.
What?
Yeah, I did.
Because of the nerves?
It's the scariest song on the planet. So like I still get like jittery excited for a lot of shows. I really do. I'm very excited to perform. I love doing that. But the
Mm,
anthem is the scariest song on the planet. I mean, most songs like from their highest to lowest point might jump like 7, might jump like 9,
mm.
like key ranges, whatever. The anthem is 14. So you can either start it too low or too high.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, you got to
So it's
start
very
on the.
spooky. I absolutely botched it in high school. I ruined the
Mm,
anthem at my own senior night in high school, and ever since then, man, it has been the scariest thing on the planet. But one, it is a huge honor, and two, I am a
yes.
massive PBR fan. So
Oh, that's
honored to do
awesome.
it.
That's
Honored
awesome.
to do it.
Yeah. Did in high school did you botch the notes or the lyrics?
I botched free. Free just tanked, man. Free just absolutely tanked.
Oh, and they still talk about that in Oklahoma. You botching that night. It's bad. Um,
I haven't gone back, so I don't even know.
let's see. So Belmont graduate, singer songwriter. What degree? What did you go to? What did you study at Belmont, Allie?
I got a degree in songwriting, whatever that means. It was awesome.
No,
Yeah,
really.
it was
That's
awesome.
really cool. Did they just kind of lead you in how to craft songs and
Yeah,
uh,
so Belmont University here in Nashville is incredibly known for its music business
oh yeah.
degrees. And so it's essentially that program with writing classes involved that are exclusive just for songwriting majors. And it really, really focuses on commercial songwriting. You know what I mean? They're not going to teach you
Mm-hmm.
how to write a song because you have to be accepted into it. You kind of have
Right.
to know that anyway. But it does teach you commercial songwriting and teaches you a lot of the business behind that as well, as far as like how to register your songs appropriately and how to split your royalties appropriately and what to
Oh
expect
yeah.
in the music business of songwriting. And then also there are writing classes, which were incredibly fun and creative and challenging.
Mm.
So that was all awesome.
Yeah, yeah. That's I'm always intrigued by students that go there and the degrees they get. I'm always interested in how they implement them into their life after that. And I'm sure a lot of people do. I mean, you did.
Yeah.
You're still writing, and
No one has ever asked me for that piece of paper when I walk into a co-write. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, don't get me
yeah.
wrong. But with
That's
that said, I promised my parents I would get a degree. So 4 years of songwriting, easy peasy.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, there you go, and it's paying off because that brings me to this. I saw that, of course, you have two pretty big songs that you see. Honest Man came out earlier this year, and then Tattoos. I love Tattoos.
Thank
Um,
you. Too.
so what now? Were those both co-writes?
Yeah, so Honest Man was a co-write between three really good friends of mine and myself. So it was four writers on that, and then there was three writers on tattoos as well.
Mm.
Um, and I haven't done too many projects with the writers of Honest Man, and we're incredibly happy with it. But with that said, Dalia and Sarah that are on tattoos were also on a lot of our stuff that was on the original album that came out in 21. So
Okay.
I love my songwriting group. They're just really, really talented
Is,
individuals.
are they your go-to? Like, is that how that a lot of people work that way? They'll go to have their group that they.
It's always different. I think it really depends on what you want to get out of the write that day. I've got go-to writers that I go to if we're writing for somebody else, so writers that are really plugged in, that are
Mm-hmm.
really well versed in writing more commercial music and also something that's going to be pitched, either for sync or for another artist.
Yeah.
Whereas when it comes to me and I've got something to say and I need people that I trust to help me say it the way I would say it, I go to Eric Dodd and Stephen Hundley every time. And those are the writers of Halos and Horns. And
Eric
a lot
Dodd.
of other songs as well. Uh-huh.
Is that is he
He's
the
an
Eric?
artist as well.
That's the Eric Dodd I'm thinking of. I do believe from
Yeah,
Georgia.
Eric's got a lot of stuff out, but he's from Georgia.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
he hosts
Mm-hmm.
a lot of rounds there
Yes.
in Ocoee, in the Coney area
Yeah,
of
Coney,
Georgia.
Coney County.
Hmm.
That's where I've
Yeah.
that's how I know who he is. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Ah, um, and didn't you do some stuff with Jared Neiman?
Yes. So
Yeah,
Lee
that.
Rice and Jared Neiman have been the producers of Halos and Horns and Feels Like, and a song that we've got coming out in 2024 with Lee that we're incredibly excited about.
Oh,
Um,
sweet.
but I met Lee through his wife, who I'm a writer with, and we've written some stuff together. And his wife Sarah is the writer on Tattoos,
Oh,
um,
nice.
and so it's incredibly cool. I have gotten as far as I have gotten, man, because I am the worst in the room. Okay, everybody around
No.
literally so talented. I think that's the way to do it, man. One, all you get to do is learn, and then
Right.
two, sometimes you get to really impress somebody. You know what I mean? It's awesome.
Do you how getting into the songwriting part? Do you ever go into it or your group wanting to kind of tailor a certain song for a certain artist to get pitched to, or is that even a
Yeah,
in the thought
absolutely.
process? Okay.
Absolutely. I haven't had too much success pitching songs to other artists just because I'm an independent writer.
Right. Hmm.
So unless I'm writing with somebody who is signed, who's going to have, someone out there. But there was a time in my personal life when I tried really hard to make personal connections with artists for that reason.
Hmm.
So there was a lot of songs that I really wanted to get to, like Cody Johnson and Randall King and Ashley
Mm.
McBride. And so I found ways to just find them personally and just really kind of pitch those ideas to them. Nothing ever, took off or anything. But writing for other artists is totally different than writing for yourself, and
Hmm.
they're equally as cool. Equally
Yeah.
as
Yeah. I bet that's
And
couldn't
I don't have
imagine.
anyone out there writing for me yet, but I imagine that would be incredibly flattering too, to have
I'm
another artist,
sure.
not only a songwriter, but another artist be like, I spent literally 9 hours thinking about how you would say this. Did I get close? I think that's so cool.
No, it'd be incredible. It's
Yeah.
one time, and I was with a buddy of mine uh in Nashville. We were riding. I think we were in Brentwood.
Yeah.
I think Brentwood, and anyway, he's in the industry, and he was just telling me, I was always, anytime I'm around someone that I can pick their brain apart, I do. I just soak it up like a sponge. And we were just driving down the road, and he goes, well, here's a neat thing that you should. That's kind of like a running joke around here. He said, we'll be driving down the road, and family or guests come in, and I'll be like, that's where so and so lives, and it's a beautiful place. And then we ride down about a couple miles more, and he goes, now that place right there, that's about 2 times as big as the artist that I just showed you. That's the songwriter for that artist.
Isn't that awesome?
Yes, yes, it's awesome. I love that. It's I'm I love the art of songwriting and how hits come together, and like especially if it's something that means something so personal to the actual writer. Like I'm sure you experience
Yeah.
that a lot too. It's just is is it therapeutic? Like everybody always
It's
says.
incredibly cool. And also, I find that a lot of people, myself included, like it's not that awesome to just sit and talk about yourself. You know what I mean? One, it can be incredibly
Mm,
vulnerable, but two, it's not always well received. You know, there's a lot of
right.
times that people like are. I feel like culturally, we don't really know how to listen anymore. So
Ah,
getting to narrow your point down and something you really really care about and something that you've invested your time and your life into 3 minutes that sounds cool that someone else is not only going to listen to but also put themselves in that song and tell you how it relates to them. I think there's a lot of really amazing conversations that can be started that way that aren't
yes.
always so received when they're started, face to face. So
Oh,
that's something I really love about songwriting and something that I love about like the country music genre itself. Because if you're in country music, I really like to think that you have something to say,
yeah.
and that it's going to be a part of a bigger conversation and something that people can not only relate to, but even challenge and do that kind of thing with. So
Right.
I'm a big fan of the narratives that this town is
Mm.
choosing to put out right now. I think it's very cool.
Um, that I love how what you just said, and to know that you believe that as well. A lot of the guests that we had back from 2018 to 2020 when the show was going full time, I would always ask like Billy Dean. He gave a really amazing answer. So did Henry Paul from Black Hawk. And I said, what do you think made the '90s songs stand out and why is it such a draw today? I feel like
Right.
there's such a resurgence, and both of them said it was the song.
Oh yeah, 90s country music had something to say,
Yeah,
and you can go back and you can look at the veins and the ways they said it too. But I think one of the most iconic ones for me that stands out. There's two. You can talk about Goodbye Earl all day long, and how it's
right.
a little
Yeah,
fun, little like
it's
get those black eyed
mm-hmm.
peas, baby, do your thing. But we're
It's
talking about domestic
shoot.
violence here. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
And like
yeah.
how prevalent it was.
It's
You talk about strawberry wine and women's sexuality, like all of those kind of things. And they had to
right.
choose, a way to talk about it, but
Mm-hmm.
still it was being talked about. And
Yeah.
again, in conversations that you would not have had face to face
No,
back then, especially commercially. You know what I mean?
that's yeah.
And Don't Take the Girl, all of those things,
Oh
like
man.
really incredible narratives that, like, again, it would have made anyone uncomfortable to just talk about, but
Right.
not to sing about.
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah. Oh wait, what a perspective. I've never even thought about it. Allie, I'm like trying to turn some of these lights down because I know like for those of you watching right now, and this is um this is the first time I've actually used this program, StreamYard, and the lighting on my beauty is just not what it needs to be. I need to take a tutorial that you put out on the old YouTube.
StreamYard
Uh,
is cool, and it is kind of overwhelming. I feel like sometimes the settings that are on these platforms, you know
oh
what I mean?
yeah,
And when you don't have
yes,
them, you're like, man, if they would just make a button that did this, and they do, and we're like, I don't know how
yes.
to use that
That's
button, dog.
and that's the crazy thing about a lot of these guests are coming back because we ended it in 2020, so
Yeah.
it's been 3 to 4 years, and it was all audio when we did the show first time. It was 2 years of just
I'm
straight up
always
pod.
asking Bev. I'm like, listen, I know that this is a Zoom interview. Is the camera on or not? Like, you
Yeah.
gotta let me know. You gotta let me know.
That's so funny. Yeah, it's changed a lot, podcast world. Um, well, let me keep going because I've got so many cool things that to talk about. Um, oh Holy Night, it's coming
Yeah.
out. You recorded one of it's my favorite Christmas song, or uh, yeah, I call it a Christmas song.
Yeah.
It's whew, mm,
It never really crossed my mind to put out a Christmas song because um like you said, there's a lot of things that that Allie Colleen has been, kind of partnered and paired with,
mm,
and Outlaw Country is one of them, and I'm so stoked about it and so
mm-hmm.
excited, and it's all I've ever wanted to be is an outlaw.
Oh
And
man,
so I didn't really know how to represent a Christmas song. You know what I mean? And I
mm-hmm.
didn't really know how to do a Christmas song differently than it's been done before because I tend to stick to the classics when I
Yeah,
when I stream Christmas music at my house.
mm-hmm.
So I was like, I don't think it's worth like the money and the investment yet, whatever.
Right.
But I was approached by another artist to do this Christmas song. His name is Jay Allen, incredibly talented, incredibly kind. Um, and we're on the same agency together. And so my favorite thing about Oh Holy Night so far has been the pitch to get me on it, which
Oh,
was something similar to I have an artist named Jay Allen, and he's looking for someone a little spooky to sing a Christmas song with. And I said, that's me, man.
No.
That's me. And so we hit the studio to try and kind of make kind of a haunting. We really referenced like Civil Wars kind of vibe
Oh
to
yeah.
do a Christmas song. So
Yeah.
it ended up being prettier than we wanted, which isn't a
Uh-huh.
problem. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Of
yeah.
course it is. It's a Christmas song, but it's beautiful. And so I'm just lucky to co-collab with Jay Allen on this one. And he's the brain behind it all. But
Oh,
it's
that's cool. I'm gonna look him up. That's Jay Allen. Okay.
Jay Allen, yes.
Awesome. Yeah, that's cool. Um, speaking of it's the Outlaw, and I mean, the other night up here, well, I live near a place called Hiawassee. You ever heard of Hiawassee, Georgia?
I haven't.
Okay, where it's the Georgia Mountain Fairgrounds, and it's called Anderson Music Hall, and about 2,900 seat venue for its country music, and it's
I
been
have
there
heard of it.
since.
I
Yeah.
I have heard of the venue. I'm not familiar by any means,
Oh,
but
sweet. Yeah.
when it's been talked about places to hit in Georgia, Anderson
Mm-hmm.
Hall has
You'll
been.
you will love it. It is it's hard to describe the sound. Whoever it is, um, it's so amazing. And Ashley McBride was here last weekend, and
She's the coolest
oh
thing
my
that we have.
gosh, I don't even know
The
how to.
coolest thing that we have.
Yeah, I don't even know how to put it into words. My mom told me 2 days ago. She goes, Britt, I think Ashley McBride might be my favorite country artist right now. She just seems like she's the real deal.
Do you know the collaboration that the world needs?
What, you and Ashley?
Well, that's the collaboration I need. That's the collaboration I need. And like I need it. I need it to a holy level. I need that. But no, Amy Lee from Evanescence.
Ah,
We
yeah.
need Evanescence and Ashley McBride to do a song
Oh
together.
my
Are
goodness.
you joking? I think about it every day. If
Where did you
Evanescence
even get
came
that
on and took,
idea?
so I'm a huge, so I've wanted to be Amy Lee since I was a kid, and
No.
then I wanted to be Ashley McBride since I was a kid. Well, I wanted to be Jodie Messina, but then I found a pissed off version of Jodie Messina, which was Ashley McBride, and I said that's actually what I want to be. That's it. And ever since Voodoo Doll came out, and
Yeah.
then the acoustic YouTube version of Rattlesnake Creature, ever since both of those came out, I was like, throw Amy Lee on this, and I could die. I have
Mm.
seen all there is to be seen. I don't need anything else. I can receive all the nourishments I need for the rest of my life
Oh
from that
man.
moment right there. Oh my
Amy
gosh.
Lee is amazing.
Oh my gosh.
That's so crazy that you just that's it. The
It would look. Oh, it would
Yeah,
look. It would
the
sound. It would taste good. It'd be great.
oh yeah, it would be it'd be a full course meal.
Yes.
Yeah,
We
and
need
then
it.
some.
We need it.
Man. Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah. So who are your what got you into songwriting, or I mean, like, who's your like influences? Or I mean, so Jody, you or
Love Jodie
Ashley.
Messina, and I think I'll put Jamie O'Neill right there with Jodie Messina, because
Oh.
my mama listened to both of them so much, and then and you put women like and then as far as like being it, so like that was kind of my mama's influence was those two, and then Dad was
Mm.
always a Keith Whitley and Randy Travis guy, and listened to a lot of Annie Lennox as well, and so kind of got that cool
Mm.
little kind of
Mm-hmm.
soulful thing going on, and then women that I found myself that I just loved more than anything that were kind of coming out at the time that I was a kid. I mean, Kelly Clarkson was just hitting it,
Mm. Oh,
for me, and got to hear.
she still
Um,
is.
oh no, absolutely, still is
That-
absolutely murdering it. But I just mean being 14 and that album
mm-hmm.
coming out where she was only whatever age, and that her and Christina
Oh
Aguilera were
man.
probably the two that I shaped my vocal around the most as a kid.
Really?
And then my oldest sister brought an Evanescence to the house one day, and I lost my mind. Um, and then just continued stuff like that. Like Haley Williams' vocal from Paramore is absolutely
Ah, Paramore.
incredible and astounding. And I'm a huge Miley Cyrus fan.
Me
I
too.
obviously got to grow up being a Hannah Montana
Mm.
Miley Cyrus fan kind of thing, and just getting to see her grow into what she grew into, just incredible.
Ah,
So I tend to fall in love with powerhouse women. I think it's the coolest thing on the planet, like the vocals that they have.
yes.
Um, Obviously grew up a huge Trisha fan for all the reasons, and just
Mm-hmm.
those women that can just sing anything, but they sing it like them. That I don't
Oh
think any
yeah.
of those women have ever tried to emulate anyone else, and I think
Yeah.
that's the coolest thing on the planet.
Yep. Have you heard? It just came out, I think, last Friday. Uh, Trisha and Winona's duet of "Cry
Yeah,
Myself to Sleep"?
I have.
Mm,
Just breathtaking,
yeah,
honestly.
I just have to little glory, glory, glory.
So good. So
Um, Jamie O'Neill. That's I mean, when you said that, I love that you're bringing up names that that people might y- they're
it was incredible. Actually, I got to go to Denmark last year on this little show that Nashville has kind of put on and partnered with Denmark called Nashville Nights. And one night was a featured Women of Country night where all of the women who went over there got to use a house band in Denmark and rock this show, right? And
mm,
I was one of those women, and so was Jamie O'Neill. And I
ah,
lost my mind. I absolutely lost my mind. And getting to just hear
that's
her. I mean, she
cool.
sang "There Is No Arizona," and I
Mm,
bawled the whole time. It was
mm.
incredible. It
Did
was incredible.
she sing the song she wrote for Martina?
Which one is that?
Um,
She did "She's Somebody's Hero." She's
well, that one,
somebody's
but
hero.
oh,
She did that one. She did "There Is No Arizona,"
oh,
and
you
she
know the one I'm
did.
thinking of.
I don't think she did "When I Think About Angels," but I begged
Ah,
her to. I begged her to.
I did a show with Jamie up here in Blue
She's
Ridge, Georgia.
incredibly kind. A little
Uh,
spunky. I like it.
when she it was a house show. This guy had started booking some artists to do these big like multi-million-dollar homes, like cabins on the river, and so he started bringing in these artists, and I got to hang out and open up for some of them. Well, I was done, and Jamie had sang probably an hour and a half. It was just her and her husband and the acoustic. It was beautiful. And then at the end, she's like, "Hey, Britt, you want to come up here and sing 'Will the Circle Be Unbroken' with me?"
Oh,
I mean, what am I going to say in front? Yeah, yeah,
you're not gonna say no. I can tell you that right
you
now.
know. So that was fun. It's
That's
just
amazing.
yeah, it is cool, and
That's amazing.
she's cool. She's a cool female artist, no doubt.
What sold me on Jamie was the Mark Wills duet. That "I'm Not Gonna Do Anything Without You."
What
You remember that
duet?
one?
Oh, is that
Her
a?
and Mark Wills, it was on the Shiver album that like everything else was on. And it was "I'm Not Gonna Do Anything Without You."
My
And it was
goodness.
funny because she on her album, obviously she sings first.
Yeah.
And then on Mark's album, Mark sings first. And
Mm.
both of them are incredible. But I used to sing that song to my horse almost every single night for no reason. I don't even
No
know if he
way.
liked it, but I liked it. And so getting to meet Jamie, I was like, I can't wait to tell you that I used to sing your song to my horse.
Yeah.
And I don't think she knew how to respond to it, but she's like, "Thank you," I think. I said, "No, it
Well,
should be thank you." To me, it's very flattering. I don't know why, but to me, that's very cool.
oh, it's very cool. Yes, I think that's amazing. Um, that's so cool. And so you were a horse rider, huh?
I am. I grew up with horses, and I've got two now. Still,
Oh, nice. Okay,
I do.
that's what are the names?
I've got Jack and Einstein.
Ah, I love it. I
Yep,
love it. That's
they're
cool. My
exactly what you think. Jack is useless, and Einstein is smarter than I am. It's just ridiculous.
Do you have a dog?
I've always had dogs. It's actually the first in my life I do not have one, but the horses are pretty easy to have a friend come over and help when I'm not
Oh
home.
yeah.
The
Yep.
dog got incredible, separation anxiety all the time when I was just never home and it was really hard. So
Ah,
first time in my life not having a dog and it's incredibly weird.
yeah. Well, I understand the separation anxiety. I have a lab,
Hmm.
and he's yeah, I can't
They
go
are the
anywhere.
best and the worst at
Oh man.
that.
And there's a reason dog is spelled backwards as God.
Bet your
Because
butt.
no matter what, he's gonna love me. I mean, man, it's just a
Yeah.
really cool experience every time I know that he's loving on me and just welcoming me when I come home, and I love it. Yeah, just I'm just giving you my philosophical
I'm
ideas.
right here with you. I totally
I
agree.
know you are. I can tell. I feel it. Well, here's a cool question. Um, so when you tour, how do you as an independent artist and just blazing your own trail, is it hard to keep? I mean, how's that work in your world? Like, is it hard to maintain a healthy balance of living while you're really pushing? Like, you're probably busting your ass out there right now, and
It's incredibly hard. Just the pursuit of the business, is
mm,
incredibly hard. I mean, being a rock star, easy peasy in the
Yeah,
sense
yeah.
of balancing personal life and being a rock star. You can't do it. Like it's all gonna bleed together. It's gonna be what it is.
Mhm.
Put your boots on, get up, go. Like I don't work a 9 to 5. I have nothing to
Right.
complain about. Let's go. Um, but as far as being an independent artist on the road, every single thing comes out of my pocket, and it's
Mm.
so and
Mhm.
it's incredibly hard to make money back in the sense of creating for the future. And I don't
Right.
know that that's something that is really understood. And we have this conversation a lot in this town. It's not something that's supposed to be understood. You know, music is supposed to
Yeah.
be sacred for a listener. You don't need to know what it cost me to make this song. You know what
Mm.
I mean? You don't need to
Mhm.
know what I need from you. You don't need to know any of that stuff. Music is special and sacred and it saves lives, and you're not supposed
Mm.
to know that. But for the sake of having the conversation about a business, it is so expensive to make a song, and it is so hard to receive any money back from a song.
Yeah. It's
I don't know that listeners understand that with streaming
Mhm.
services these days, that we
Ah,
are not any money off of
yeah.
music more where we used to. And when you talk about those songwriters having larger houses than the artists,
Huh.
there was a time in town also when the songwriters were really taken care of and they were making money and they were having the houses and they were having that.
Mm.
And it's just not what's happening right now. Nobody in this town is making money off of music.
Man.
We're making money off of sponsorships and product placements and ticket sales and merch
Right.
sales. You know what I mean? So there is money to be made. But
Mm.
when you talk about an independent artist in town trying to tour full time and make music full time,
Mm.
it is incredibly challenging, but,
Oh man.
I would never do literally anything else, and I will find a way
Yeah.
to make it work.
Yeah. You eat, breathe, and sleep it, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. That's so cool. Um. So with Throwback, the Throwback podcast, our focus is on throwing it back. I want to always honor the women and men and show them so much love and admiration. I am so passionate about, and I know, I mean, this is the truth, and I'm so passionate about the people that I grew up on.
Mhm.
And so, who are your biggest musical influences, or do you have influences from those decades, or are they from rock and roll or pop? And or
You know,
you already said like a few, but
yeah, I think probably one of my largest influences when it comes to, um, everything that I do is I don't find that it would come off vocally at all by any means, or even performance-wise. I couldn't be more different than this artist, but I just think Michael Jackson is literally one of the
mm,
coolest things that ever happened on the planet.
mm-hmm,
And I think that his vocal style and his technique and his bravery when it came to doing something different was incredibly cool. I think
mm-hmm,
most of the artists I lean to did something incredibly different for their time and for their placement. And I think that again is kind of what feeds into me maybe trying to be a part of that big outlaw country and just a part of something that
yeah,
is you are going to take me or you are not, but I am not
mm-hmm,
going to do anything to fit into your box. And I think artists like that did that were incredible. Cher was a big one for me as well, and representing both that native heritage and what she was, and implementing that in her music in a way that again, like we talked about earlier, conversations that would not normally been had. And I
mm,
think another artist that did that incredibly well for who she was Reba. I think Reba talked about a lot of things as well as a woman that were not being talked about. Um, I think that actually most females in music, especially country music, had to do that because again, the conversations would have never been started.
oh
Um,
yeah,
but the Dixie Chicks, I mean, the first song I learned on guitar was Traveling Soldier.
ah,
So in honor
sweet,
of what they were then and the Chicks as they are now,
mm-hmm,
huge fan,
mm,
huge fan. But I love that. I love that era of country music when it comes to the 90s. And then dad was always a huge Kiss, Queen, Seal, Kansas guy. He loved that. I don't even know what that genre is because I don't know that I would put it in rock, but I guess it is.
yeah,
But huge fan of that. We used to watch a lot of live Queen footage at the
mm,
house, which was always very cool.
mm-hmm, yeah. That is awesome. I love that you have I love what you said about Michael. It's just it's like did you ever watch, after he passed away, did you watch the This Is It, the final?
Yes. The movie I did
Yeah,
because I will never forget that female guitar player.
she's
That was
incredible.
just the coolest thing on the
Oh yeah,
planet.
yeah. And she was with him for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was his she was a cool cat. I mean, she
Yeah.
was that big hair and um yeah, that's cool. But he even on that documentary, he's so detailed. I mean, he would stop a song and he could hear like that little bass line, that little riff, can you do the dun, 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 instead of dun, dun, and he's like he just
Insane. Yeah.
like the way his mind was working even
Yeah.
at that point.
Because
So
I can listen to, we treat this artistry a lot like athletes, and that can
mhm.
sound silly sometimes, I'm sure, but we record, audio or visually, we record every show, and then I go back and I watch it,
Oh wow.
like you would watch tape or anything else.
Yeah.
Not every single one, but especially the big ones, especially
Mhm.
ones where we have a new stage we'd never used for the first time, as far as even like a stage setup and like how we're placed and how I used it. If we get a stage with a catwalk, you bet your butt we're gonna watch the footage, because you got to make sure that like you're using it appropriately and you look
Right.
cool, not just standing there when you have access to like all those things. So all of that to say, I can flatter myself on that critiqueness, and being able to watch those and be like, okay, Cameron,
Mhm.
which is my guitar player, like we did this during this song when maybe it needs to fit a little bit more like this. But
Right.
Michael being able to actively do it, I think was absolutely insane. I've gotten to see Cody Johnson walk around his sound check as well, and pick out things like that are
Oh
happening. And I
really?
think that is an artistry and a technique
Mhm.
and honestly just a genuine care for what you're
Mhm.
doing. I think that's
Mhm.
incredibly cool.
Are you able to so you I mean, I can only imagine how you incorporate those nuggets of wisdom that you are watching someone else do, and how you are planning on and already do incorporate that
Mhm.
with your team.
Yeah, we try really, really hard to do it. Again, I always try to learn, especially
Mhm.
from people that I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
And so Allie Colleen, our shorthand is Alco. Everything we do is Alco. My signature is Alco. All my stuff's Alco. And
Mm.
that is literally because of Cody Johnson, because he's
Oh
Kojo.
yeah, yeah.
And he's Kojo from the get go. And I was like, that's what I want. I want a
Yeah.
shorthand. I want to do that. And so there's a
I
lot
love
of
it.
stuff that I just watch as a fan. And I will say I don't notice it with everybody. You've gotta sell me as a fan first.
Mhm.
And then it bleeds into my artistry, and I come and
Mm.
I watch what you do and I notice what you do. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm not that meticulous about things. I like to
Right.
enjoy music as a
Oh
fan.
yeah.
I really
Yeah.
do.
Oh yeah.
And
That's
just like how, a lot of athletes don't go to football games anymore, because they know what it's like, they know what's going on, they know the smoke and mirrors, they
oh
know all this.
yeah.
So it's very
Shoot.
similar to us, going to shows
Mhm.
is incredibly hard,
Mm.
but I don't think I'll ever lose being a fan. And so when I'm a
Yeah.
fan artist, that's when I start to pick up that stuff, and I am a huge Cody Johnson fan.
That's awesome. I like it. Kojo Nation.
Kojo.
Did you watch the awards last night?
Yes,
Did you see Tanya Tucker?
I did.
Oh, it was
I did.
awesome.
Tanya was rad. Lainey's performance blew my mind. I even
Oh
said to
yeah.
myself as she was performing, I said, if the only woman who used pyro in this whole thing doesn't get Entertainer of the Year, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Oh, you
Like,
you you
come
called
on.
it?
And it was so I did, and it was all out of hopes. I really thought Morgan was going to get it because of all of the radio
Yeah.
success that he's received this year. I mean, he's
Yeah.
toured a lot, but as far as like what last night did and all those things, I really thought Morgan was going to have it.
I
But
did
for
too.
Lainey to get it, I sat here like a little kid and
Incredible.
just cried, because it's like because when Carrie did it, it was like that's an icon. Like Carrie's
Right.
been doing this for forever.
Yeah.
Of course he's going to get it.
Yeah.
But to see Lainey Wilson do it, who has literally just emerged in the last couple of years as far as
Yeah.
commercially, she's been
Yeah.
working her tail off here for
Yeah.
forever. But to see someone who just commercially kind of did her thing to
Mhm.
win something that females have never even really
Oh
been
yeah.
considered
It's
for
exactly.
blew my mind. Little Allie lost her mind last night for sure.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. Hats off to her. She's cool. She's cool,
Yeah,
and I like her traditional um vocal stylings that she incorporates in a lot of her songs. Um
she's
Now,
very cool.
as we start to wind down, Allie, I have a couple of questions. So, do you have what's your go-to playlist right now? What's one? Do you have a go-to? Do you have a go-to song, or are you kind of digging anyone right now, new or?
I am a fan of my friends. My friends are
I love
so
that.
talented. My friends are
Yeah.
so talented. So I mean, Carter Winter, Taylor Acorn, Matt Wynn, Lane Rose, my little brother. He works his butt off. Just absolutely killing it. So I am a fan of my
I
friends in
love
this
that.
town. And that's a very cool thing to get to
Oh, that's
say.
so cool. That's good. Who did you say something win?
Matt
Win.
Wynn, he just got a Reba cut.
Its name sounds so familiar.
Matt Wynn, he's incredible. He just finished a song with me that is very very quickly, if not already, becoming my favorite song I've ever got to be a part of. It's called Oklahoma Mountains,
Mm.
and it's just about me, and it's just about, if they say there ain't no mountains in Oklahoma, so I've always had to climb, and it's just this
Ooh.
really cool song, just about the struggles that I've had as an individual, and also always pays homage to where I come from in Oklahoma and that kind of
Love it.
thing. So big Matt
Mm.
Wynn fan. He's awesome, and as an artist, he's incredibly
That's
talented.
all I love. I love that you're a fan. Who you said you're a fan of? Your friends.
Yes.
Um, what is the most memorable moment you've had so far in your wonderful young career?
You know, I've got a
Oh, I
lot,
bet.
but we're gonna to go back to Jody Messina. There's a festival in Ohio called Blame My Roots
Mm.
Fest, and when it was scheduled for 2020, I was on the same night
Ah,
as Jody Messina, and I lost my mind, and I was
oh
so
man.
excited. And then everyone lost everything in
Yeah.
2020, and so when it was rescheduled for 2021, she was the night
Oh
before
man.
me, and I was the night after. So I was like, cool, I can still go early, watch her set, rock on. Won't really share a stage with Jody that day, but like,
Yeah.
let's go. And so that's what we did. I got a bus for the first time, paid for it out
Woo.
of pocket, lost all my money. It was amazing because it was my birthday. So I did it, and we went and we had a blast. And that night before, as I'm watching, the shows and everything, of course, Beverly had it all planned out, had it all ready to go. I got to sing with Jody Messina
Oh,
that
no
night. And so
way.
I got to be a part of
No.
her set. And not only did I get to sing, but she gave me I'm All Right, the one song I asked for. And I said, Jody, I'm going to be
No.
honest. I came here just like the 20,000 people out there came here to hear you sing this song. Like, I don't want to say, I want you to sing it. And she goes, well, I'm not going to. So
Oh
too bad.
man.
And I got to sing it, and she stayed on stage with me the whole time and danced around with me and sang it. And there has never been a cooler freaking moment in my
Oh,
life. And I don't know if
man,
there will
that's
be. But having Jody
so
Messina
cool.
see me and make it a point to make my day special, and to also recognize me for the entire 20,000 people that were going to come back the
Mm.
next day,
Mm.
as a
Yeah.
festival, and watch my own set, that was incredibly cool. So not only was that amazing, but the next day doing my own set, seeing all of these people be like, dude, we saw you play with Jody last night, and we could not wait to see like what you do. It was the coolest
I
thing on the
saw her
planet.
maybe 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. She was up here in Hiawassee at the.
She's so kind.
She had everybody in that music hall in the palm of her hand from start to finish.
And I'll be honest, I'll be so honest. When Heads Carolina came out with, is it Dylan's,
Uh,
is it Dylan's who does it?
Cole
I'm not
Swindell.
right, but and I hate that I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
Thank you so much. Respects, Cole.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Um, when he came out with it, there was a part of me that was like, man, this is so cool, but screw this. Like, there's so many kids hearing this song for the first time, they don't
Uh,
even know about it. And I did not expect it to launch into a relaunch of Jody Messina's Heads Carolina. You know
man,
what I mean? And a
you
relaunch
and
of a tour and a relaunch of streaming. I was then like, I'm gonna shut my
oh,
mouth, Cole. Thank you. I can't
I'm
thank you
telling you,
enough for doing what you
it's
did. Like,
I thought it was
amazing.
genius.
And getting to see Luke do that now with Tracy Chapman, like the
Oh yeah.
coolest thing on the planet. Like to have it trickle back to the original artist.
Oh,
So freaking
and
cool.
Luke also did it with Shenandoah because last week they had a number one with 2 dozen roses.
That's you're
Yep, I
absolutely
saw
right.
something about that. Yeah,
Absolutely right.
um,
I forgot about that. Yeah, and
really
so
cool.
that's really cool because I don't know that in the past covers have really translated back
Right.
to the original
Yep.
artist. You know
Yep.
what I mean? And now I think it's absolutely incredible that they're being recognized for
Oh yeah.
awards. And Tracy,
Mm.
songwriter of the year and those kind of things. Like
It's. I mean,
absolutely
she
incredible.
did not expect that. I mean, that's like hit her out of left field, which is awesome.
The only solo female writer, within her culture to
Mm.
be able to receive a number one for that
Oh.
long. Like absolutely incredible, and should have been recognized at the
Oh
time
yeah.
too. So
Yep.
I just think I don't think there's anything
Oh,
cooler than that.
hey, I am a huge fan of female artists, and I was talking to, I say I was talking to him. It's been 5 years. I think it was Billy Dean, and I was like Billy, because we're, first name basis, and I was like, Billy, uh, women in the '90s, they they exploded, and it was, I feel like that was one of the, I mean, it's like they ever.
They ran
Yeah.
that.
I
They really
mean,
did.
platinum records left and right, and just your Patty Loveless, your Susie Boggess, your Lori Morgans, sh-
They
and
absolutely ran
I
it.
it's I agree, and it's I have turned my buddy Matt, who is working with us, on to well, you've listened to more Winona and the Judds than you ever have in your life here recently, right? They, yeah, hey, I have no shame in my game. That's my when people ask me who my favorite female artist is of all time in country, I say Winona Judd, and then maybe probably Patty Loveless is a close second. So yeah,
Very cool. Good choice.
thank you,
Man.
thank
Good
you.
choices.
Well, Allie, this has been so much fun. I feel like we've just had just the coolest conversations. Um,
No,
yeah,
it's been awesome. Thank you
yes,
very much.
I had just had a blast, and that's one thing I like. I told Bev this. I want everyone to feel like it's just a conversation, between two buddies and two friends, and so hopefully the listeners they'll see it now because it's not a audio only. I got, yeah, I got to
Absolutely.
make sure I look good for every show now, and so, but we have such a really cool treat today, and you are going to play a song for us, and
I am. I'd
oh,
be
I'm
honored
so
to play a song
excited
for you
to
guys.
hear this. This is going to be killer, killer, killer.
So we talked about narratives and something to say and all those things. And it's funny, we've really been focused this year too on really honing in on that sound sonically of not even just like pigeoning ourselves into outlaw country, but just
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing I love performing more than like the grit and the
Mm.
tough stuff and everything we've gotten to do. And this song is always brought up in conversation because it's the total opposite of that. And everyone is like, oh, this is where you get to show like your sweet side and your all those things. And I just think there's been a massive confusion in that. That is not at all what we're trying to do here. This song sounds sweet, and it is sweet, and it's incredibly kind. But if this doesn't speak to the kind of woman that I am and want to be and would love to, blaze a trail as, this is what it is. And so this is how I would ask a man to marry me,
Oh, wow.
because I am absolutely enthralled with the pursuit that men have for women. I think it's absolutely brave. I think it's absolutely incredible. And I don't think it's given enough credit. With that said, I have nieces and nephews, and other than happiness and health, the one thing in life that I want
Mm-hmm.
for them more than anything is go get what you want. Go
Mm-hmm.
get what you want. I don't care what it is, and do not explain yourself to
Yes.
anybody. Go get what you want. And so, if I'm ever lucky enough to meet somebody that I want to spend the rest
Yeah.
of my life with, I want to go get what I want. And so this is
Mm.
how I would do it. So this song is out. You can listen to it everywhere. It's called Honest Man. And Brett,
Oh,
thank you
you
again
you ju-
for
you
hanging
sold
out with
me on it by just describing what you just said.
me.
I'm probably gonna go download 100 of them.
Please do. Please do. Y'all, this is Honest Man. I hope you like it. And ladies, if you need some encouragement to make your boyfriend something more, I got you, babe. This is it. Okay, just play it for him. It'll be fun. I never met someone like you. Make me feel fragile and bulletproof. I give you the reins and you let me run free. It takes a man like you to love a woman like me, and I've laid this out in my mind 1,000 times. You say you love me, I'm calling you out. Let's set these plans with a stone. Say I'm the one that you can't live without, but without you I'm just skin and bones. Put this ring on my head, I'll make you an honest man. You pick the place and I'll meet you there. I'll walk down the aisle with a flower in my hair. One day we'll start us a family, 'cause the father in you would make a brother in me. And I've laid this out in my mind
Wow,
Something
wow,
I love.
wow. Man, I love that. And who did you write that with?
I wrote that with my really, really good friend Kate
Mm.
Hastings. She's an artist in her own,
Oh, that's cool.
Hastings. And then Lance Carpenter, also a phenomenal artist of his own, and a gentleman named Big Benny that used to be a part of the trailer choir. And it was really, really cool because Kate and I sat and talked a lot. And then the boys' job was to be there and say, "Do you still feel big and strong? Like if this is what she's saying, do you still feel big and strong and like masculine and all? And are you still gonna say yes?" And they were like,
Mm.
"Yes." And so we all four spent kind of all day really talking about it and trying to figure it out. And it was an idea that I'd had for probably about a year or
Oh,
so, and
wow.
I just wasn't sure who to do and wasn't sure. I wanted to make sure that I knew how the hook was going to land before I pitched it in a right, kind
Yeah,
of thing. And so worked really hard on that, and so proud of it.
you
So I
should
love that
be.
song, you
That's
guys. You can check it
mm.
out.
I I love the acoustic. I love that version because it's
Thank
the.
you.
Oh man, that's so good. Um, well, Allie, this has been so much fun.
Been a pleasure, man.
It's just
Thank
been
you.
so cool. Um, what's here? Okay, oh, here's the last question. I popped this on Lori Morgan, and it was she it caught her off guard, but she loved the question. And it's so hard, but if you who the first four, do you have a Mount Rushmore of music in general? You don't have to be country or just or country music. I don't know. Just who do you have a Mount Rushmore?
Just like my person, like
Or
my thing, or like something
yeah,
to get over.
who's your four that you would put on Mount Rushmore that are just the who you would think say is a
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Ashley
Mm,
McBride for sure.
I love it.
I think Michael
Yeah, oh
Jackson
yeah,
would go on
yeah.
it. I think Michael Jackson would go on it. Um, just for sake of not missing an opportunity, I would
Oh,
go
of
on it.
course. I mean, it's yeah.
I bet your butt.
Mm-hmm.
Bet your butt. And then I'm gonna have to
Mm.
go
See,
with Celine Dion.
Celine.
I'm gonna have to go with Celine
No,
Dion.
okay. Have you
Yeah.
ever covered some Celine?
In my shower every day of my life.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think I think someone
Absolutely.
should cover just acoustic. What's that song? When you want it the most. Yeah, that'd be
Yes.
cool. To hear that just acoustic. I think.
I love her stuff. I'm Alive, like that entire album has just been something I've been
Oh,
jamming
that's
to
awesome.
since I was a kid. But I think Goodbye's the saddest word is absolutely horrifically sad and wonderful and
Mm.
just it makes me cry. Just the mama
You ever
song.
seen her
It's so
live?
good. I
Oh wow.
did. I got to see her at Caesar's
Mm.
Palace when she did the
Yeah,
residency there. And she did My Heart Will Go On and Beauty and the Beast, and I cried like an absolute little
that's
baby.
awesome. I love it. Oh, that's so cool. Well, everybody, you will see all of the links in the show notes, wherever you're listening or watching from. It'll be in YouTube show notes and on all the podcast platforms. And we'll put all the links for her music, the website, the socials. Man, you've really built your social media following, Allie.
I've
Oh
worked so hard,
man.
and it's just crawling so slowly, but we're getting
Mm,
there. We're getting my goal for this year was literally to double my Instagram following, and I will be honestly honored if I get an additional
wow.
10,000 this year. I've barely bounced past 50, but I'm sitting at 57 right now. I
Mm-hmm.
started at 50 at the beginning of the year. I'm so frustrated about it, but
Oh
I've
man,
worked my butt
that's
off, and we're slowly creeping up there, you guys. So give me a
yes. Oh
follow, please.
yes. They will, and I can't wait till. Like I said, we're going to post all that. I want to. I believe in you. I've listened to some of your songs.
Thank
Like
you.
I said, over the past week, me and Matt, we built a fire, and we had some adult beverages,
Just
and
dove in.
dove into some Alley, and it was just
Good.
and we dove into some Neil McCoy too because Neil is coming on the show, so we
Good
had to
choice.
listen to some
Good choice.
Neil. But Allie, thank you so much. Hopefully we get to see you soon perform. And if y'all want to go watch her live, I bet your 2024 dates will be they'll be coming out pretty soon. Yep,
They will. They'll be
yep.
posted very soon. We've got some really big, exciting ones. Neil McCoy was the headlining artist of my night at Blame It On My Roots
Oh
Fest with
wow.
Jody Messina. So he's a part of that memory for
Man,
me as well. So very, very cool. Excited for you to
he's an
have him on your show.
entertainer.
Thank you very much for your time. Yes, he is, and a very kind
Uh,
soul. So thank you for giving me some space on the Throwback
oh,
platform as well.
anytime.
Thank you
Thank you,
very
Allie.
much.
I'll see you soon.